its jaws to crush and pulverize shells. Which is especially handy in certain giant turtles.
My bad. Seems I've let you guys grow comfortable. Seems I've let you guys grow confident. Well, since Akupura was too tame, have a taste of this instead. That's right, he got an upgrade. Sure, Akupura already stood at a great position in this tournament, with only few hybrids, I think, able to take him down, but I don't think we can say that anymore. So here I present Akupura 2.0, and if you haven't already seen the original video, I recommend watching it, as I don't plan on going over the original genome again. Really, we will just be going over the few new contributors I added, along with some contributors I thought I was under or overutilizing. So let's get to it. To get it out of the way, no contributors will be removed. Really, we're just going to be adding, as I was kind of unsure about what would be pushing congruency, although after Valis dropped his video on his marsupial lion, which might be part of the reason I'm making this, as it kind of scared me a little, I had a better grasp of what I would be allowed to do, and added some more things to the genome. So, first thing we will be doing is talking about how we're going to reutilize the common snapping turtle and alligator snapping turtle. Of course, most things will stay the same, except the beak. Beak will have the hooked shape of the alligator snapping turtle beak, while retaining the sharpness from the common snapping turtle beak. We will also be taking the thicker neck of the common snapping turtle, so it really just has a more muscular neck, unlike Akupura 1.0's more tortoise-like neck. And we will also be taking a little bit of the jaw muscle from the alligator snapping turtle, as well as the more armored head of the alligator snapping turtle. We will also be reutilizing the Komodo dragon, mostly for their endurance and immune system, as since they consume carrion, they have very powerful immune systems, although don't mistake yourself, as we will still be taking its anticoagulant and iron coating. That out of the way, let's get to the contributors. First one is the saltwater crocodile. The saltwater crocodile will be contributing its bite force, helping with the turtle's nature to grab and lock on to an enemy when it bites. And we will also be taking its blood thing. Basically, when saltwater crocodiles, or most crocodilians, lose a limb, they are able to cut off blood circulation to that limb and keep themselves from bleeding out. And in the case that Akupura loses his tail, this will be handy. The next contributor, which I made a post about this previously, and decided to include it in 2.0, as, I mean, we might as well, but the Gila monster. Most people have been including Komodo dragon in their genome, and this is a bit of a problem, as most will have immunity to Akupura's anticoagulant. With Gila monster, though it doesn't do that, it is quite the potent venom that causes swelling and immense pain, and most likely, when we land a good bite on the ankles of a larger hybrid, their ankles will start to hurt, they'll start to swell, and they won't be able to support all their weight on that limb. This will obviously be helpful, as if the hybrid can't walk, then that means the battle is mostly under his control. The next thing we will be taking is the crow, for obviously its intelligence, but also its immune system. The main reason why I decided to go this route, making Akupura more intelligent, is I don't want him to fall for tricks. I see one problem with Akupura, and that is he isn't exactly that bright. If, say, a pack of hybrids were to perform hit-and-run tactics to almost bait Akupura's strikes, they could possibly tire him out, and that would not be good. With Crow as intelligence, he would be able to recognize these patterns and just not fall for the same thing over and over again. He'd be more aware, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So the next animal we will be reutilizing, as I forgot to include this, is the ankylosaur. First thing is, Akupura needs to be bigger. All of his competition, or at least most of it, is quite bigger than he is, and I didn't really know about things like Paleoloxodon or Paraceratherium prior, so yeah, he needs to be bigger. And I looked into it, and there is a species of ankylosaur that had the size we needed, and I think with his cooling, the muscles from the ankylosaur basically being built to support animals like this, we should be able to get it to work. His new size will be 33 feet long, and his new weight will be 7 tons instead of 3.5. This way, he will be more of a threat to the larger animals he will be facing, and yeah, so we're doing that as well. The next thing we will be taking is the Galapagos tortoise. You might have seen in the design change that he has a more toothy beak. This is, now of course these spikes wouldn't be as prominent, although the Galapagos tortoise has a serrated beak meant for cutting through vegetation. And in this case, it's going to help us get through a lot of armor that we wouldn't be able to with the normal beak. Another oral thing we will be taking from the Galapagos tortoise is the padding in their mouth that lets them eat cactus without really flinching. A lot of the hybrids I've seen have utilized porcupine, and this is a bit of a problem, as that means Akupura won't be able to bite them. With this, he might still feel a little bit of pain, although he will be able to muscle it through. Galapagos tortoise also helps with congruency, muscles, and yeah, that's really all we will be taking from the Galapagos tortoise. So, aside from genome, let's get down to what actually makes Akupura 2.0 different from his original counterpart. First things first, and these are all design changes, again, not with the genome, although these spikes now, instead of pointing backward like on the original Akupura, they point outwards from the center of the shell. This is to better protect his side, front, and back, and really prevent things from trying to punch, ram, or really, use their body to attack Akupura's shell. It's just better for defense. I also shortened the head spikes on Akupura, as they originally existed to help protect his neck, although with the spikes on the shell now protruding outwards, that is no longer needed. Now, this is a fairly recent design change that isn't included in all the art you've seen, but we will be removing the spikes from the back legs. Something I hadn't accounted for is the way tortoises tuck into their shell. So originally, I thought the spikes wouldn't be a problem, as in a photo I saw of tortoises tucking into their shell, their limbs face outwards and don't tuck all the way in, but this is only for their front limbs. Their back legs do tuck all the way into the shell, and that means we can't have spikes there. Luckily though, again, because of the repositioning of the shell spikes and the clubbed tail in the back, anything that goes for those back legs will be severely punished. As you've also seen, I changed up the colors from the more earthly green and gray tones of the original Akupura to the red and black of the Gila monster, and the shell is now brown with a yellow outer rim. I don't really know how it gets this, but it looks cool, so we're gonna go with it, and I don't know, I don't see a problem with it. But yeah, with that, those are the major design changes, other than the size change, and the more technical parts about that will be included in the description of the video. The battle tactics will stay the same, with Akupura hiding up against the wall of the arena and waiting for his foe to come to him. Then, when this does happen, assuming it's a larger hybrid, he will focus on attacking the ankles and bringing the large animal to the ground, and then finishing the job. Or if it's a smaller group of animals, he will be able to pick them off one by one with his jaws the second they make a bad move.